are live! We are live! Let's go! Welcome to Speculation Sunday. We got Just Ask Danny in the house.
What's up? What's up?
Danny,
Ready to get this show started.
How are you? How are you dealing with the rain, like the cold? Like, how you feeling, man?
I actually skipped out on Disneyland today, but I did go this weekend. And I forgot how crowded it was because the North American Music Merchants Festival, the NAMM Festival or NAMM Convention, was in-house in Anaheim. It's one of the biggest things that comes to Anaheim every year, and I forgot it was this weekend. Not only that, but it was like Ducks Day when you and I were there too, so that was adding to the whole mess of it all.
I couldn't even park at Toy Story, dude. It was brutal.
Brutality.
Lot has happened, and at the same time, I want to do kind of like a short beginning of Speculation Sunday, and then we just go into Q&A. But Danny, what content do you have around the corner, my friend? You got so many things going on now. Let people know. Let people know.
Well, I just had a podcast episode come out on all the new announcements that were, shared with us about the changes coming to the hotels of the Design Resort. I have a new video coming tomorrow, just because I was trying to space it out a little bit. So it's already been uploaded, and it'll be coming out tomorrow about the new shops in downtown Disney and just some other updates in the parks. And then there'll be another podcast this week as well, too. So lots of things there. I've had a lot of people really like so far the podcast being on YouTube. So they've liked the video version of it. They enjoy it being there. I definitely would say some of the first one I posted on YouTube got way more views than I thought for just the podcast. So that was interesting. I didn't think people would watch it as much there as they listen to it on the other platforms. But I did have a lot of people tell me, Mondo, that they don't drive to work anymore because they work from home or they're not working right now, and because of that, they don't use podcast apps. They only use YouTube, and so if it's not on YouTube, they're not gonna listen to it.
Yeah.
And so I didn't even realize that was the case for some people.
I only use YouTube, and I actually just canceled Spotify because I'm on the YouTube Music game. I do the YouTube Premium. So I was like, why am I just letting YouTube Music go to waste? And why the hell am I paying for Spotify?
I did the same thing, Mondo. I don't have, I use YouTube Music as well because I also pay for YouTube Premium. I'm an OG YouTube Premium. I was on it when it was YouTube Red. But YouTube Premium comes with the streaming service from YouTube. So I don't have any of the other platforms because I just use YouTube Music, because YouTube Music has all the stuff on YouTube plus regular music streaming. So to me, it's the best of both worlds.
And it almost has artists that don't even hit Spotify. You know what I mean? They just put YouTube only.
Yep.
I do want to say real quick, because I know, and it's a hot topic of conversation. We just saw a crazy game between the Bills and the Chiefs, and the Chiefs are going back to the Super Bowl. I mean, the Chiefs and the refs are going back to the Super Bowl. I already got the photo up, Danny. There it is. Just everybody knows what's going to happen. Everybody knows. Who do you got, Danny? Are you going to go against the Chiefs? Who's going to win the Super Bowl?
Man, I think we all know the Chiefs are going to win, right? But I mean, they won last year, so it would be nice if the Eagles won, just because it'd be something new, new, they got all the way there, let's let them have it kind of thing. But they're gonna both play the best they can, right? So
the Eagles are coming in hot, man.
They are. They played good. They played good.
They dropped 50 points. Freaking nuts.
They need to bring that fire with them on the Super Bowl as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really curious how the Super Bowl is going to play out. But honestly, the writing's on the wall with the whole Chiefs and the refs, and everyone's calling Reagan, and you know what I mean. But I think it's going to be the Chiefs. If you ask me, I think the Chiefs. They know what to do. They know what to do. We got Big Rags 16 months. Happy Sunday, everybody. Looking forward to 90s night in March. Let's go.
Crazy. It's so close. It's so close.
Has Disneyland put like 90s night info, Danny? I haven't looked in a long time.
We got info super late for Sweethearts Night, so I can't imagine we're going to get it in advance for 90s night, other than what we already know just on the event page itself. Yeah. They shared a few things, right? They told us that we'd have that parade that was inspired by like the Mulan and Lion King parades from the 90s. That's really the only kind of new thing that we know that's different from this time versus the last time.
Mm-hmm. Where is this information? Is it when I go to like select tickets maybe? Is 90 nights sold out? Is it sold out? No. What? Tuesday? I could have sworn Tuesday sold out and only Thursday was available. And now
it was sold out. It was sold out when it was Inspire Key, when you were buying it.
Oh, okay. So when it's just available, I see. Okay. I was like, what? These are like flip-flopping. Well, anybody still trying to go to 90s night, it's available. It's available. Here it is. 90s on Parade, sponsored by Disney Plus. What? That's interesting. I don't really recall stuff being sponsored by Disney Plus at After Dark events like that. All right. Well, I'm excited, man. 90s night. It's the only one where I was like, take my money, Disneyland. And when it comes down to After Dark event, is Star Wars night calling your name, Danny? Or you're just over it?
No, I don't necessarily say that it's not like calling my name. It's just for me this year. I always budget for like 2 After Dark events if I can, or just one. This year I was only going to do one, just 90s night. And I was thinking maybe I'd do Oogie Boogie depending on like what we kind of feel is going to be happening closer to. But 90s night was the winner for me. So I don't really have a need to do Star Wars night just because there doesn't really seem to be a lot new. And in fact, last year they took away the fireworks. So
it's brutal. And we don't have a lightsaber battle that is dearly needed for it's a Star Wars event. I want Rey and Kylo battling it out, or Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker battling it out. You know what I mean? Like, is that too much to ask for an After Dark event? May is it May?
It's Mai Tais.
Mai Tais. Oh my gosh, I just suck at English. Mai Tais Adventure. Thank you for becoming a member. 5 fires, my friend. Also to We the Ones. Let's go. Fire it up. What up, Danny? Happy Sunday. Hope you guys are staying dry. I love the rain. I like how fresh it felt outside. Did you have?
Yeah, it's always that way. The air feels always so good the next day after the rain. Oh. So in fact, Mondo, if you do go out tomorrow, you'll probably enjoy the freshest air you'll have all month.
And Coco don't want me to go out. No, it's nice. It's actually really, we need rain, man. I remember the last time it rained in California. Miguel dropping 5. Make a trip in March for 90s night, or making a trip in March for 90s night. Are you going? Haven't been in the park since almost 10 years. Will Star Wars Land be open? Star Wars Land will be open, right, Danny?
I mean, it depends. Didn't we? Wasn't it shared that on Sweethearts Night it wasn't? Wasn't there some rides that weren't available on Sweethearts Night?
Man, I don't know, dude. I don't even know.
It kind of just depends on what Disney has available and doesn't have available. Like sometimes Star Wars Land has been open and then Rise of the Resistance isn't open. So that's always a possibility. we have to kind of just wait until we get closer and see what Disney's actually going to have. It's not generally the entire park though. There are some attractions that are not open and available during the After Dark events. So,
I'm gonna
it's kind
go.
of a
I'm gonna go on a limb and say Galaxy's Edge will be open, but I don't know about Rise of the Resistance. That, you know what I mean? That's
yeah.
what I think.
hmm
Yeah. Galaxy's Edge will be there. If you're trying to get like a Ronto wrap or Tatooine Sunset or something, it'll be there. I'm going to 90s Night. Danny's going, right? You're going too.
I'm going on the first night.
You know, I want to dress up this time, Danny. Danny dressed up last time, and I felt out of place. I was like, I need to be 90s. Oh man, like what's the 90s look? Like I'm curious if 90s
Neon,
fashion.
like early 90s was like neon colors because they were like just coming out of the 80s, but like late 90s is like basically the way Gen Z dresses. So like dark, like like bigger,
2025
baggier.
dresses.
Like
Right,
that's like early 90s right there. That's like
right.
early
We
90s.
want the
Although
late
typically
90s.
that's like what Disney's vibe is for the event. It's like that kind of style 90s,
Yeah,
but like there's also like the grunge 90s too. So like the baggier clothes, like the oversized jeans, all that kind of stuff.
grunge. I'll put grunge. Wow, that does feel like the style these days a little bit. The
Yeah.
grunge. Wow. We're just going back in time. Like you just plop 2025 on that or
Yeah,
2024.
Mondo, Rebecca Tapia in the chat, one of the members, she says, "Yeah, and those pants that swish when you walk." The swish, swish.
I hold on. I want to look up late 90s. Late 90s fashion. Like why was it so different? Dude, early
Well,
90s to late
10 years,
90s?
Mondo, is a big difference.
Like look at this. They're considering
Look how much changes in 1 year.
uh yeah, I guess. Wow. Breakfast Club? Is that what this is? I think that's Breakfast Club. Man, it's like everybody went away from all the colors and stuff. Vest and choker necklaces. I wore the white shells. Did you ever wear any of that stuff, Danny? The white shells?
The puka shells? No, I
Puka
did not wear puka
shells.
shells.
Well, that's 90s, right? Puka shell necklace? Let me see.
Yeah, it's almost like late 90s, early 2000s.
Like, how did this get popular back then? Because it's just like, it was. I don't feel like it's ever been popular since back then. Yeah, I love my necklace. I wish I still had it. All right, all right, all right. We're getting out of topic. First thing I want to talk about is a new store that has opened in downtown Disney. I feel like the hype wasn't there because people didn't know about it, but once it opened, everybody went crazy. People rope dropping. They're rope dropping. There's a freaking line at 8 p.m. There's probably a line in the rain right now for all we know. And what is it? What are people trying to buy? All this Tokyo merch. Danny, did you see this coming? Did you see this coming?
I had heard that this store was going to carry like international stuff, but I didn't know what that meant, right? I didn't
Yeah.
know if that meant like it would be like a place where you could get like a merch that said like Disneyland Paris on it or like Shanghai, like kind of like a place to get like the stuff you would travel to get kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But then it kind of opened with like a themed collection. So I don't necessarily know that I think it matches the vibe of what they're calling it, Storyland Boutique. I mean, the sign itself is ugly, but we know it's temporary and that's not
Yeah.
going. But the theme of this store is essentially like they're think of it like the way that like the Disney Store Japan works is that like they have these like themed collections that are like really highly themed, right? And most of the stuff that we're seeing there, and they like sell drops, kind of like merch drops, you know. So this store is going to change dramatically every time there's a new style. So right now, the inside of the store is basically like a blank shell, And there's a lot of sakura decorations all over because the drop for this merch was the sakura collection,
Mhm.
aka the cherry blossom collection. So there was cherry blossom flowers all over the ceiling and on the pillars, like as like a vinyl stick on.
I saw. I
So
didn't know that. I didn't. I know what you're talking about. I saw that.
yeah, so they basically in the article that Disney mentioned this, or I guess more so from the people that talked about this location when Disney shared it with them, um, when the candy store opened and they had that like little mini media event, they shared that this store would go through different like merch themes. So right now it's like cherry blossom time in Japan, and so there's a lot of cherry blossom stuff. There's like a whole collection on popsockets.com with like Pokemon Sakura, and it has like all the
Damn.
pink and fairy Pokemon with like cherry blossoms and stuff. So I think Starbucks even has like a cherry blossom like uh thing too with like limited Starbucks drinks and merchandise. It's all cherry blossom themed. So this is like the time for that kind of stuff. We'll probably see another merch drop come here a little bit later on, and maybe it's more Easter themed. I know we've seen in the past, like the Chinese and the Japanese parks, they love Easter. Like especially Japan, they love
Yeah.
celebrating the Easter bunny stuff and all that. So maybe we see like some of that really heavily Easter themed, bunny themed merch coming here afterward as like the next big thing. So, but this is going to be the store to go to. I mean, whoever, I know they have someone from the Japan merchandise team. I don't know if it's from Tokyo or if it's from the Disney Store Japan, but he's
Wow.
now over here.
Look at.
And maybe it was his idea to bring like this store idea, this concept where like there's like basically a drop, because anytime there's these major drops like this in the international parks, aka the Asian parks, they just have resellers buy a ton of it over in Japan, and then we have the US, consumers over here who either can't get over there or are buying it in bulk and bringing it back, and
Yeah.
so they're paying like double for it. So Disney's like, why don't we just do our own store that has the same drop, and then we can make the money. So
Heading
I
out
think
the
it's
middle, literally.
yeah.
Jesse, OMG, the line wrapped around downtown Disney this morning. They had 3 cast members as line control and a 4th with the end of the line sign. So they got 4 cast members just working a line. Glad we got there early before the madness. We got our merch. Um, what's the crazy part too? I saw somebody in the comments mention it a little bit earlier. Uh, to create this crazy demand, they could just like trinkle in all the hot stuff. Like somebody was saying, Duffy. Imagine Duffy stuff comes here, Danny. It's gonna be just stupid,
Yeah, I was
stupid
talking to my Alyssa in the chat about this. I was telling her, I was just like,
wild.
Duffy, they brought Duffy out in DCA like 1.0, 2.0 era, and it just people weren't ready for it yet. Duffy had reached the popularity over in Japan, but it hadn't like emanated into our culture yet from people that so many of our like Disney fans now have had a chance to visit the Tokyo Disney Park and the Shanghai Park and the Hong Kong parks and Aulani, and like every single one of those resorts is just inundated and overwhelmed with tons of Duffy and Friends merch, and it does really well in all those areas. And so, what shocked me is how well it did in Shanghai. I didn't think it was going to do as good there, but it did probably as much, if not more, there than it does in Japan. And so now it's become really big here, right? And so I feel like this is the time that they could do Duffy merch drops, Duffy and Friend merch drops here. I mean, even when we had the Duffy and Friends merch drop at the D23 Expo, not this last one, but the one before, that sold out like right away. Remember they debuted that new I don't even know her name, but it's the new, I think it's like Lena Bell or something.
Yeah,
But like
yeah.
at D23, that was the first time that like one of the first times that she'd come. And so like everyone bought all the Lena Bell stuff. So like I feel like they could do these themed, these holiday seasonal themed drops with Duffy and Friends at that store, and it would just sell like crazy.
You know it's coming. You know it's coming.
Yeah, Disney with Denise in the chat. Poor Duffy did not get any attention at Knickknacks when he was over there. It used to be called, gosh, what was that store called? It was called like Treasures in Paradise, I think. Just type in like Disney, type in Duffy Paradise Pier, Mondo.
Let me see. Let me see. Duffy Paradise Pier. Wow, that's cool. Hold on. Stand by. Stand by. Um, okay.
Yeah, so basically, if you guys have been to Knickknacks over in Pixar Pier, when you go out the store, closest to like the marquee sign of Pixar Pier, when you're like basically exiting the pier, there's that space just outside the gift shop where they like do cartoon drawings and like face paintings and stuff right there. That's where the Duffy meet and greet used to be. Basically inside the rotunda of the shop that says Knickknacks, like on the other side. So he had his own little spot there. They had like a Sailor Donald meet and greet, and then like Sailor Duffy, and then the store like
They
basically
they
had
call
a
him.
whole Duffy section. They sold Duffy clothes. They sold the Duffy stuffed animal, and then they also sold the book, like the story of Duffy, so that people could like know what Duffy was. And they had like they basically had like a child's book that would like explain like how Duffy came to be and how she was a gift from Mickey to Minnie and like all that stuff. And but it just never took off. I mean, he was really popular when he first debuted from the people that like knew who he was and was excited that he was there. And then after that initial excitement wore off, like no one went there. And he just kind of would, you'd see him standing there and
You
no one
could
would
tell
say
they
hi to him.
tried. They tried.
Mm-hmm.
For sure tried. Wow. I never looked at this stuff. There's the book, Danny, right here. Look, it's right there.
Yeah.
Damn. That book is like gold now. All the Duffy mania. T. Rodriguez, 20 months. Thoughts on the new downtown Disney stores so far? Okay, we're on the topic. What are your thoughts on Disney Storyland Boutique? What are your thoughts?
Every store that Disney has specifically added in downtown Disney has been a huge hit, in my opinion. D-Lander, excellent store with incredible merch available. The Avengers store is like 50 times better than anything they've done so far in the park for Avengers Campus. That store is incredible. I still walk in there the other day and I was like, this store is so awesome, and they keep adding stuff to it. Um, the Wonderful World of Sweets store, incredible, incredible. It's like so much better than what used to be there. And then this the Storyland boutique store, it's a great concept. I mean, it's not like a jaw-dropping experience on the inside. It's very much just like a white shell, but it's there because it's going to host different merch drops, and I think that's a unique concept that people really love merch drops, right? Like they love the hype around merch drops that are like limited, and
Mm-hmm.
so to have a store that's the hub of that, that's not just like shoved in a corner of World of Disney, is really cool for something like that. I think it's cool to have a place that's separate for that. The next thing we need is a Disney Lorcana store in downtown Disney. Dedicated.
Dude, they honestly, it would be packed all the time if they really had a Lorcana store.
Hmm.
Or Lorcana needs a section in World of Disney or something. Like there's for sure space in World of Disney, in my
It's
opinion.
funny, Mondo, that you say that too about the stores, and then also we've got Palace Adventure. One of your members in the chat says downtown Disney is now a destination on its own and getting better. And I was actually with my friends this weekend when we went into the store, the new store, and they made a mention too because downtown Disney saw crowds this weekend that they never see. Not only because we debuted two brand new stores,
It's
but because, like I
January.
mentioned earlier, like I mentioned earlier in the show, it's NAM, and half the people that are here for NAM Some of them go to down Disneyland parks. Some of them don't. The convention ends, they're done around 3 or 5. I mean, it goes later into the day, and there's entertainment and live entertainment happening at that convention outside the halls. But sometimes people just want to leave early, right? They've done their job. Maybe they're there working the event. They're done. They're going to enjoy the areas. So there's only so much you can do at Garden Walk. Inevitably, if they don't have tickets to Disneyland, they're coming to downtown Disney, and this is what Disney wants, right? There's going to be millions of people here for the Olympics in 2028. But my friend was saying, he couldn't believe how packed downtown Disney was. And he was just saying, man, they're adding all this stuff that's drawing people into downtown Disney. Can it even accommodate this many people? Like, was it ever meant to accommodate this many people, or was it just meant to like be a place to walk from one side to the other?
Has there ever been like a rumor or a whisper that the current parking lot for downtown Disney could become a parking structure? Because then it would be like game over. They just add so much more capacity with the structure. Has there ever been the talk of that, Danny, or there never has been?
Well, if you bring up and this is obviously the
Or
Disneyland. If you bring up the Disneyland
yeah,
Forward concept artwork, and again, everything in the Disneyland Forward concept artwork isn't even really anything. It's just an example to have shown the city when they were trying to get the permitting or the rezoning completed. But there's an indication of what could be the case, right? If Mondo pulls that up,
yep.
basically, Mondo, all you want to do is focus on the part of the larger map that shows the left side of the Pixar Place Hotel. So everything on the Simba parking lot side,
Oh,
on that
I'm fine.
concept art.
All right.
And if you zoom in on the very bottom left of it all,
Oh, that's as far as I could go.
to the left side, Mondo, the left side,
Right here.
bottom left. Nope, nope, up right there, the corner of that new space.
Gosh, I wish I could zoom in more. That's as far as I could go. Right above Danny.
Yeah, so you can see like basically the parking's all gone,
that
and
that could be
yeah,
a parking structure.
there's no parking there. But the reason why I wanted you to, so like you can see there's no parking there, there's nothing going on. That's a show building for a ride. And then you can see the pathway that goes, above or Disneyland Drive on like a bridge, just like downtown Disney does. But the other concept I wanted you to go to, Mondo, is the one that they showed for the Toy Story parking lot. So if you can go to that one.
Yeah. So just saying, there's no way that building above where you're at, Danny, that's parking structure. That has to be a
No,
ride if they did
that's
something.
a ride. That's a ride show building. Yeah.
Oh, all right, all right, all right. So Toy Story concept art, parking, Toy Story parking.
It's just Disney. If you type in Disneyland Forward concept art, you'll see it.
Got it, got it. It's like they're not making it easy to find all this stuff. There we go. All right. There it is. There it is. We just haven't seen these things in a long time.
Yeah, so if you see in the bottom left corner or the left side of that concept art, that's a gigantic, massive structure, and that would accommodate um, the very top, the top side. Sorry, I meant to say there.
The top side.
You can see the structure
Oh,
like top left.
behind right here.
Well, not behind, but like kind of top left. It's like got a beige siding to it, kind of all by
Oh,
itself.
this thing.
Yeah, so it's kind of hiding there in the concept art. That's a big giant structure. I don't necessarily know that that's meant to accommodate downtown Disney, but that's probably meant to accommodate whatever the heck this is going to be, right? My idea is the plan for downtown Disney is no longer the West End, which is where we come in from now. The plan for downtown Disney is the new structure on Harbor. You're going to go through security there. It's one giant security zone, and that's where they want you to be. They don't want you to be on the western end unless you're staying in a hotel. So the western end will be like the hotel entrances, and then the eastern end will be from everyone that's coming from the outside. So, and the parking structure if you're at Mickey and Friends.
Mm.
So I think moving forward, the only thing I could think of, Mondo, is they'll they'll maybe more divert people to Mickey and Friends if they're trying to do Downtown Disney or Pixar Pals. And then the new structure that's much larger on Harbor will be more for guests that are going to the theme parks.
Mm.
And so it'll like both structures will have to absorb the Downtown Disney guests, because if they're gonna use any of that space in the future, there just won't be parking lots there.
You'll get theme park.
Yeah.
um, the Wonderful World of Sweets. What are your thoughts? Did you enjoy it? The process, the layout. What'd you think?
Yeah, I thought it was cool. I love the concept of a big treat store like that. Disney Springs has always had it. They used to have the Goofy Candy Company, which was a little bit more whimsical than this one, but this one's still really, really cool. I love the idea of the very kawaii, cute like characters that are themed specifically to this location that have their own treats and cake pops and all sorts of things. I love having the Werther's original caramel corn in the West Coast finally. I thought it was great. I loved that they brought it here, and it was definitely the right move to expand into the next store next to it and take all that space. And now, when we were waiting in line for security yesterday to go from the Grand Californian Hotel into downtown Disney, all you're smelling is caramel corn being just funneled into that into that corridor right there.
Yeah.
So you're just smelling it being made fresh. But I think it's a good concept, and they were blasting through like the wait. Like, don't be discouraged if you walk in there and they're on number like 5 and you grab number like 90. They got to number 90 in like immediacy, like right afterward.
This,
So
their cash register, like turning and burning through the crowd, they get it like nothing. I never seen Disney be so efficient, Danny. This is the most efficient store at all of Disneyland Resort. Like getting in through the crowds. Because you're right. I was like 72 and they were barely like at 6 when the thing just opened. And they called my name so fast that they like skipped me. I was like, whoa. I'm 76. They're already like on 82. I'm like, wow. I'm not used to Disney being this efficient. Yeah, they got it down. Um, all that's happening at Disneyland is crowds getting bigger. So for them to do what they did, and the Wonderful World of Sweets, their footprint got bigger. It was genius. Even on the second day we went, Danny, when we just checked out the hotels, it was still busy. This thing's gonna be busy for life. It's Disneyland treats outside of Disneyland. Who doesn't want that? Who doesn't?
exactly.
Yeah. uh, we have a good question from Jen. Do you think Magic Keys will still be on sale on Friday? I'm trying to get one. Do you think so?
I don't know.
It's a
That's
hard
a good
question to ask.
Yeah, we don't know that number that Disney has in mind, and they could really just shut it off at any moment. But I wanted to direct the discussion, Mondo, back to Wonderful World of Sweets. If you could bring up that picture that you had again of the display case showing all the different stuff. And this is a question maybe for my Alyssa in the chat or anyone else who thinks of that kind of stuff. But Disney created these new characters for this location. Right? They all had different names, and they're basically themed off different candies. They had Poppy, which was the popcorn bucket that we saw, and it's basically the icon for the popcorn. They had Lolly. They had Fluffy, which is candy corn. They had the Bonnie, which is like the bonbon candies. All the different things, and they all have their own cute versions in the artwork. But my question to you is, Mondo, do we see merchandise come to this store and or maybe even Storyland Boutique that's like the plush keychains and like
Mm,
ears of these characters because they become their own iconic thing?
I'll say yes. They've already dabbled with like Disney snacks line. You know what I mean? This falls right in line with all that. What are those plushies that are snacks? Where like the
Uh,
snacks is like a
the
s'more
Munchables or whatever they're called, or
Munchables. Yeah,
whatever they
this
are.
Fluffy, Bonnie, and Jimmy and Lolly, like that all kind of falls into it. I think they're for sure going to give these treats merch. That would be my guess. I think they definitely do. Um, I just want to throw it out there. The big consensus has been that the cake pops, Jimmy, Bonnie, and Fluffy, that they suck. I just want to throw that out there. I don't know if it's like first day jitters.
Munchlings, that's what they're called, munchlings. We had it
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah. I don't know if it's first day jitters, but those
Yeah, I
cake
don't know.
pops.
I just will tell you the cake pop. I don't. They need to maybe change their recipe. I had the fluffy cake pop. The cast member told me it was so fluffy is cotton candy,
Yeah,
and it even rings up as cotton candy cake pop. She mentioned that the white chocolate that was used to coat the cake pop was cotton candy flavored. I didn't get any cotton candy anything when I bit into it, and at first I was kind of hesitant because I was like, cotton candy cake pop.
yeah. You never hear that. When have we ever had anything like that? Never.
Yeah, so like I don't know I'm just not a big Disney cake pop person. Like they're just not very good. A lot of people were saying the Starbucks cake pops were better. Maybe they need to change their like
I agree.
buttercream to like cake frosting ratio. Like I don't know. The Jimmy cake pop's not a cake pop. It's just that one is just marshmallows. So if you're not a marshmallow person, like you're not gonna like that at all. Because some people just don't like marshmallows, Mondo.
Marshmallows grew on me as I got older, but it's not something I want to eat. You know what I mean? I don't know. I
Yeah.
do like once every 6 months one of those marshmallow wands that has chocolate. I think there's actually one here, right there. That marshmallow wand. Those things are delicious. It
Those are good
sucks.
because those are also dipped in caramel too.
Yes, yeah. It sucks that it's $7, but like you're at Disneyland. It is what it is. Oh man. Um, I hope you could get that magic key, Jen. I hope you can. If I had to take a guess, I would say like one more week and they're probably just gone. Maybe they come back in summer again for the 70th kind of thing. But yeah, we'll see with the magic keys. Danny, what do you want to talk about next? What do you want to talk about?
Um, well, I wanted to kind of talk about the state of Knott's Berry Farm. Mondo and I went there this
Ah,
weekend. And just divert the conversation a little bit to Knott's Berry Farm.
yeah.
We had an amazing experience. We went on Friday. I think our Knott's Adventure a couple chats ago mentioned that she loves this time of year when it's no longer Knott's Merry Farm, and it's not quite the Peanuts Festival yet, and she was or Peanuts Celebration, sorry. And she was saying it's like the best time to go to Knott's because there's like no one there, and we experienced that, and it was great. It was like what you always want Knott's to be is what we experienced on Friday.
Yeah.
Like it's just like that calm experience. You can walk through Ghost Town and like just see it at your own pace. Get in, wait maybe like three people ahead of you in line to get food at a restaurant, like versus like in the thick of whatever's going on where there's like an hour wait just to get food, and there's like barely any walking room in Ghost Town, and just it was an
A meal
interesting
plan
experience.
could
I mean,
take an hour,
it
literally.
was crazy to see Mondo and I walking through Camp Snoopy, and the rides were all walk on.
Never see that.
Camp Snoopy, that never happens. Never happens.
Um, Knott's right now is perfect. Right before Peanut Celebration starts, I even honestly feel when Celebration starts, it still won't be like crazy busy. But Knott's right now, it's just like it's your private theme park just for you. You probably won't wait 20 minutes for anything, honestly. Maybe Berry Tells because it's garbage, but other than that, like Pony Express, all those things, like everything's kind of like 10 minutes. And if you're ever trying to get food right now in January and February, it's probably just low crowd, very very low crowd. Period. I do want to mention one thing about Knott's though, Danny. What is the sentiment on Montezuma? Now that we had another chance to finally look at it, it's been a while since we've seen it. It looks abandoned. it looks It looks like there's a lot to do. Nowhere near of like, oh, dude, this might open on summer. I don't think so. I don't think so at all. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it doesn't even look like it's going to be ready by summertime. I don't know what the plan on moving forward with like work on this is. Like they haven't really shared much on kind of what the plan is for any of this. Um it doesn't even seem like there's a hint of any movement, right? The only thing reason why we're seeing anything at all, and which is giving us more of a hint at like things being not done, is because all the tarps around what was being done were shredded and ripped because of the winds we had that caused all those fires. So you could see everything because it was no longer covered up. So
And in all reality, it looked like, if I had to put a percentage of where they're probably at with trying to complete this, right, they're like at 15%. You know what I mean? They're nowhere in the 50s, 60, not at all. I don't know what's happening with Montezuma. It's very sad because original Montezuma was just great. Ain't nobody complaining about it. So the fact that they were like, we're gonna redo Fiesta Village and Montezuma was ambitious beyond belief, and then it's just abandoned. It's just an abandoned project. I don't know how else to say it. It's just abandoned, man. Um, if somebody buys the Knott's Pass for the first time, what are some like restaurants that you would recommend, Danny? Give me two. Give me two.
yeah.
They're going to Knott's. Where do I eat? Where's two good restaurants at Knott's Berry Farm?
Yeah, that's a hard question. There's a lot that I really enjoy at Knott's specifically, but my favorites are typically I go to the same ones like each time. So one of them's for sure, like without a doubt. Mondo will agree with me on this one too. But it's the pizza place in
Prop
the
Shop
Prop
Pizzeria.
Shop Pizzeria over in the like the new I call it the new part of Knott's Berry Farm where they have the Charleston Circle and all that kind of stuff over there across from the Berry Tales attraction, bumper cars. Prop Shop Pizzeria, just you can't go wrong there. I love everything I get there. I always love. I feel like even if there's a really long line, it's out the door in the queue, it moves fast. Like you even if it's like that whenever we're there, like during Scary Farm and like crazy times, like where you see just like this hour wait at like the barbecue in Ghost Town, Mondo and I will always be like, prop shop, let's go there. Because even if there's like a snaked line, like double switchbacks outside the door, you're still going to get in like 15 minutes. So it's like, it still just moves really fast. So I'd say that one's one of them. And then the other one for me, Mondo, is actually going to be the one in Camp Snoopy. I like Grizzly Creek Lodge. At least that's what it's called now, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But I always feel like the food there is good too. And I like places like that where they're indoors because it's like if it's hot, you can escape in the air conditioning. There's tons of seating there, upstairs, downstairs. And it's just like they've usually got really good food there and they've got like tons of sauces you can choose from and things like that. So I feel like those are I love the barbecue in the middle of Ghost Town, but the problem with recommending that is like sometimes that can take like 45 minutes just even for like a small tiny queue.
Yeah.
So
The one that's like really grown on me, Sutter's in Ghost Town. You want a burger or chicken strips, you go to Sutter's. Nobody beats Sutter's. And I want to recommend something different. I would say Sutter's and Boardwalk Barbecue. I've kind of leaned off my what is it called, Panda Express. Some type of new oil that Panda Express started using. I just hate it. I feel like it. I don't know how else to say it. It gives you like an inflamed gut. You just get this like inflammation feeling, and I hate it. I hate that feeling. When you're at a theme park, the last thing you want is an inflamed stomach, honestly. So I don't know. For me, Sutter's and Boardwalk Barbecue, those are like banger spots. So anybody going to Knott's, those are 4 recommendations that we've given you. You better not go nowhere else, because there's a lot of misses. There's a lot of misses at Knott's Berry Farm.
Yeah, and some of them you can't always rely on being open. Like Wilderness Broiler's not always open.
I know, Wilderness Broiler. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, there's just like sometimes it's like the other ones are hit or miss. Like you can't really. Yeah, the ones like I know Casa California. That's in the new Fiesta Village. It's like that one's basically like a pretty popular one, but like I don't really feel like the
The burrito
people.
just it hits your stomach too hard. Another one. It's
Yeah,
a
I
great
just feel like
burrito, but I'm feeling like very heavy for the rest of the day. Like
I just feel
like
like the
a
most
rock
people
in your
are not
stomach.
going to Knott's to like get Mexican food. You know what I mean? Like it's not
So I
not what
said,
they're
wait,
doing.
not Miss Chicken? No, that's
We're
outside
talking
the
about in the
park. In
park.
the
We're talking about
park.
in the park. Mrs. Knott's Chicken's the whole experience.
Yeah,
You
that's
gotta have a
like
reservation. You
it's
gotta
in its
sit
own world.
down.
Yeah, that's in its own world.
Yeah.
As someone who's never gone to Knott's, can you explain what Montezuma is? Montezuma's a ride that I brought it up right now. Montezuma's a ride that has history all the way back since 1978. Knott's, for whatever reason, decided to close it in 2022, and it's just been in this like purgatory of nothing. So who knows when it opens? Does it even open? Does Knott's just scrap it all together? Like it's really up in the air. So who knows? But it was a beloved ride. I posted one on my reels. I shouldn't be too far back. I have it. I have it right here somewhere. Where did it go? I had the video. Ah, there it is. This is pretty much the entire ride right here. That's Montezuma. It was very simple, but it did the trick, and everybody loved it. And honestly, I feel like Montezuma was one of those rides. Like as a kid, you're like, okay, I could do kind of a little more scary. It was like a beginner roller coaster, for someone trying to get a thrill, but it wasn't too insane. Because if you go on like Silver Bullet or Ghost Rider, those are different leagues. Like we're not even talking the same intensity. Those are just crazier, more intensity. Um, all right, all right. Uh, I want to get to a different subject, Danny, and I feel like this one we got to go to the Disney Parks blog because it was just too damn much information. Disney Parks blog dropping some news out of nowhere that involves the hotels. Nobody better to ask hotel questions than freaking Danny. Uh, New additions coming. We're gonna have a new Napa Rose. It's gonna have a new interior with a beautiful patio. Also, too, we're gonna have some concierge lounge come to Disneyland Hotel, and also another one which is like this is the big Kahuna. Honestly, this one is a concierge coming to Grand Californian, and we already got Creators Club. That one's in Pixar Place Hotel, but they're getting a little fancy because they're also refreshing the Grand Californian rooms very soon. We're gonna get a new high baller suite that's gonna be Coco at Pixar Place Hotel, and they're gonna have an incredible suite as well. Holy macaroni, Danny! Uh, I want you to like talk about all of them, but like really get into this one, Danny. This is the big one in my opinion. But
Yeah,
what
the
are your thoughts on like all these changes? Like, why is this happening? This is kind of crazy.
it is crazy, but in all honesty, the for it's weird because it just shows you how like certain design elements are so timeless, right? And the arts and crafts movement of the was it the 40s or the 20s? I'm not sure exactly when that era was, but it's when the arts and crafts movement in California, which inspired what the Grand Californian is themed after, that has stood the test of time, right? Like the hotel hasn't really had to do much as far as
Not
updates without it. And it still always looks like fresh and amazing, kind of like the Grand Floridian, right? The Victorian style. It just looks like always good. It starts to look a little bit dated on certain things, but they refresh those as needed. The only thing that's like for me, I don't know, the Napa Rose just always seemed like so iconic, and it really hasn't changed at all since it opened.
it didn't
In
need
fact,
it, in my opinion. I'm just throwing it out. It didn't need it.
yeah, it didn't really need it, but at the same time, I I guess I don't really know how much is changing in Napa Rose. There's certainly room for them to change and add more seating. That's one thing that Napa Rose can do. Um, I don't really know how much has changed as far as the restaurant's concerned. I do see some changes as far as like the wine racks and stuff. There are like wine rooms and wine racks that are featured there. I was just there yesterday, just checking it out. I just did like a quick walk in just to kind of get a visual on what it looked like. Um, it's I will say, like, right now, Napa Rose on the interior is very bright, and it's very feminine, in my opinion. Like, it's you get a just a very bright, airy vibe. It's, very themed to flowers, right? The California poppies,
Yeah.
roses, and things like that. So it's very bright, and this seems very dark. Disney chose to call out that the pillars use the same wood as oak wine barrels, and they have like the same like barrel like metal bands that go around it. That's very like dark and heavy and masculine. So it's almost like they're trying to go for a true steakhouse vibe for this restaurant, bring in like the moodier lighting, like the dark tones and the darker woods, and it really give it more of like that dark, steakhouse vibe that we really haven't had at Disney, like a more romantic kind of vibe.
Now that you mention
Um,
it, I have to say it. They're going like masculine. I don't know how else to say it. They're
it
from
is. It's
like
very
yeah,
masculine.
like
Yeah, it's like the opposite of what it was.
yeah, because like look,
Um,
Daddy, look at that. That's the current, and then they're
mhm.
just like bam, wood corkscrew. We're the metal. Where's the metal description that they gave? Where is it? It's like right here. Oh my gosh, I can't
It's at the
remember.
top. It's at the top right there.
Uh, the restaurant will have a rustic elegance and will be tapestry of California's storied history of winemaking, using natural textures such as reclaimed French oak flooring and columns, a type of wood used to make wine barrels, hand pinged artisan metals, leathers, deep colors of Cabernet, and an eye catching chandelier inspired by Mission Grapevine. Wow. That won't look the same at all. When it reopens, it'll be completely different.
Yeah, it's more of like a wine cellar now, like a wine cellar restaurant. So it's a very different vibe. Uh, I love Napa Rose the way it is now. It's one of my favorite restaurants. It's like probably my top restaurant at Disneyland. And it hasn't really had the need to change. And people just don't talk about like how good the chefs are here, how good the waiters, waitresses, bartenders are here. Like they are very skilled, like in everything, in like wine selection, wine pairing, sommelier training. Like this is a high end restaurant, and if you've dined in the actual restaurant there, you'll know. And it just, I'm a little sad to see like the original look because it hasn't changed since 2001. Really, like there's been few updates, but um, you know, I'm open to it. It doesn't look terrible. It looks really nice, actually. It's just one thing I noticed right off the bat I don't like, and my mom actually mentioned this to me when I was talking to her about it because my parents love going there. There's just something about dining somewhere, Mondo, and I think you'll agree with me. When you're dining somewhere and you have a tablecloth on the table, it just feels like that much more elevated.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you have like a nice white tablecloth and like
Yeah.
the waiter has to come up and like use their little crumb scraper to like clean the table. Like it's just very elevated. Like right now we're not seeing tablecloths. We don't have the high back chairs of Napa Rose. We've got these like kind of lounge, like wood, like wine lounge, wine kind of
I,
tavern
I want to throw it
chairs.
out there. That concept art of that chair does not look comfortable. That's what I feel.
Yeah, it just very different. It's like a very different feel. So I'm curious to see what it will look like in person. But
Kind of weird
I,
lighting that they put in
I
these.
haven't been upset with any of the changes they've made thus far at the Grand Californian, so I'm sure it'll be great.
Yeah. Real quick, uh, what about the big kahuna right here, dude? Because uh, I just want to mention this comment first from Palm Tree. Do people go to Disneyland Hotel for Disney to be investing in them like this? I always
Yeah.
hear people complain that they're so expensive. Okay, I just want to make a comment. they are super expensive. All these rooms, they're like, I don't know, $550 to $1,300 a night. We're not even talking like 5 days. We're talking a night. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I used to be one of those people that would say that too. Like, who the hell goes to Disneyland hotels? Dude, these things are packed. Being in the travel agent side and seeing availability, they sell out, honestly, which is crazy. Because a lot of people, sometimes they just stay at Disneyland Hotel when they have business to do at the what is it called? The convention right next door. People like staying there better than in any of the other hotels. And there's always conventions happening all year, period. And at the same time, like business people, they like staying at these hotels. Disney just has this like rich customer base that they are packed. That's what I'm trying to say. These hotels, they're very packed. Um, and the one that I keep noticing is like I don't know if it's like TikTok or something is just like making it in a high, popularity. Somehow like Goofy's Kitchen is getting more popular, Danny. Goofy's Kitchen is mid AF. I don't know how it's always packed. I'd rather go to Storyteller any day or Plaza Inn, or yeah, is it Plaza Inn? Plaza Inn Breakfast. I don't know how people keep going to Goofy's Kitchen, man. But you think to yourself, Goofy's Kitchen. Goofy's Kitchen is like $70 a person. That's like ridiculous. Imagine you went out somewhere to get a $70 steak dinner. I rather prefer that. But yeah, people are like two people. Like a bill could be like $165 at Goofy's Kitchen for two people. It's just nuts. It's not.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say, people that go to Disneyland blast money, lots of it, and Disneyland knows that, and they're taking advantage. And this is a big one right here. Let's talk about this because to be in this
Yeah,
room,
they spend
you're
they
spending
spend
money.
they spend it a ton of time. Like the hotels spend a majority of the time in the 90 percentile of like occupancy, right? So they don't have a hard time filling the rooms. And if they do, they just offer a discount to annual passes or cast members and they'll fill the rest of the rooms up no problem. So it's not a problem at all. And in fact, the biggest problem at the Grand Californian is accommodations for concierge guests, right? You have the concierge lounge on the sixth floor called the Veranda. All the rooms that are considered club level rooms are on the sixth floor. And then every suite in the hotel can pay to access the concierge lounge as well. And those are all over the place. So there's a lot of people potentially that have access to this room. And um, it's overwhelming a lot of times for that little tiny room, especially when it comes to the evening time, which is usually the most popular. When they're serving kind of like a typical like dinner style restaurant food up there, like a lot of finger foods, hot appetizers, things like that. So this is essentially a fifth floor space that's not being utilized. That'll be turned into a second concierge lounge to be able to accommodate more guests. But not only accommodate the existing guests that are there, but it allows Disney to sell concierge level rooms on the fifth floor as well, because this will be located on the fifth floor,
So they're not
adjacent to
just
the banquet club.
concierging one floor; they're not going to do it to two floors.
Yeah, so that those style rooms are like they're basically already at $1,000 a night, or like
Woo!
or really close to it with the rooms that have concierge access.
Damn.
So imagine like you've added another floor with a large group of rooms where you can now also pay and charge like over almost $1,000 a night for each room, and people will pay it for access. So it's it's certainly going to be very, very what do you call it for them, like very profitable. So if you look at my Twitter, Mondo actually posted a group of pictures of what it currently looks like now, so people can understand. So this is currently the fifth floor terrace. It's called the Park View Terrace. Even though it mainly looks at the pool, it's actually adjacent to the concierge lounge where it is now.
How
So
how do I look up concierge lounge like on the Disneyland hotel or Disney hotel website?
you just go to regular rooms, not suites.
Oh,
Right there,
I went
it'll
too
say
far.
concierge level.
My bad.
You passed it already.
I
It'll
passed
say concierge level.
club level.
Yeah, club level.
It doesn't matter which one, huh?
Just it's more expensive for the premium view because you have a better view.
I'll just go standard. We'll go. I just want to look. I just want to look. We'll do the 21st to the 23rd. So 3 days, two people. 757. Is that no? There we go. 1300 a night. 1400 a night.
And there's nothing different from a club level room than a regular room. They're exactly the same. It's just the room has access to the lounge. So
Right there.
there's no difference. You do get like your own front desk, so you have like priority check-in. They usually greet you on the drive. They take you upstairs to the concierge level to do your check-in, so you're not waiting in line at the front desk. You have, the concierge that's there for you throughout the whole stay. Plus, you have access to the lounge, so it's a very personalized experience, very VIP. So a lot of people really are used to that at other hotels, and so they do that here at Disney. And the concierge level rooms, not only here but on the cruise line, have like a big following, and so some people really love to do this. So it's definitely got a big following of people that like to do it, and so expanding the access to let more people be able to do it just means more money for them. So
they're concierging another floor. So a floor that was charging 700 a night or 800, 1400. Dude, Disney, they're power moving right now. They're like all these rich people. We're gonna take advantage. Anybody you're trying to drop money? We're here to accommodate you. We want you to have a good time. Oh man! All right, let's move on, Danny. Let's move on. Uh, there is another. I want to talk about this real quick, Danny. Um, I'm surprised I waited this long. Um, very soon, right around the corner, a lot of people were expecting the good old Scream Break that's built so much momentum over the last couple years, which is a Halloween event called Scream Break at Six Flags Magic Mountain. And all of a sudden, they're like, it's not happening this year. So I had to talk to a lot of people before I posted this, and then I was going to talk about it on Speculation Sunday. The speculation and rumor is that it's not happening this year. Scream Break is not happening. I don't even know what direction.
I think this is a smart move.
Hold on, Daddy. I don't know what the direction is to be like, hey, Six Flags, bring it back. Don't do this to us. I'm on the board of this needs to happen. It was so good. I loved it. But that's where things are at. This is Speculation Sunday. This is where we talk about these things. Danny, go ahead. What are you gonna say?
I don't think it's a good idea that they did it. I think they were trying to. It was a cheap money grab, and it was kind of obvious that it was like that. I mean, the horror fans loved it, and I get it too. I want to experience horror. I already want to for it to be the next haunt season. But the reality is, in spring, the parks that go heavy with horror, Knott's and Universal, they're just starting to build their Halloween ones. Meanwhile, Six Flags is building their Halloween ones the month before or 2 weeks before.
Yeah.
So I think Six Flags needs to take the time off of this Scream Break, and they need to actually dedicate the time into these amazing properties that they've now been given access to and do a horror experience better than what they've offered. I know you like it, Mondo, but
I can see it.
Pretty cheesy. You've been making fun. Everyone was making fun of their Stranger Things maze, and you can't say anything good about it. So,
oh man,
and even in that comment right there, that your mouse is sitting on that comment,
yeah,
basically just echoes what I said. I work at Six Flags, and I've heard that the reason is this because Fright Fest is going to have a bigger budget than previous years, and it should. They have they have freaking The Conjuring, they have Saw, they have like all these
Trick or
amazing
treat,
properties.
Stranger
It's like
Things.
they need to spend the time and the money to do it right. And Universal and Knott's, they're starting in April. They're starting in March,
Yeah,
building stuff.
yeah, yeah. Like the from the guest perspective, I wanted to be here so bad. It's like Halloween in March or whatever. It's just like that little thing to get me through to Midsummer Scream, and then Midsummer Scream gets us into Halloween, and then it's Halloween. But the business side, you put the business hat on, it totally makes sense. The way that Fright Fest opens was a shit show. Like, there's no other way to say it. It was a shit show. Um, and things were unfinished and just not what an event should be. When you have these properties, and then like the whole marketing spiel was like, we're gonna be extreme, Fright Fest extreme, and it didn't hit that mark on a lot of points. I get it, man. I get it. Maybe they're, you know what it is. In reality, Danny, they're going the proven formula. Start in February and March, and finish your builds all the way to opening day, just like Horror Nights does, just like Scary Farm does. I guess maybe it was just too much to just start Halloween in March, take a break, and then start the builds again, and then hope things work out by Halloween. I get it. I get it. It's just sad. I'm just sad, man. I freaking love the event, dude. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe how much fun it was.
We got a super chat from Johnny Theme Parks and Things. He sent $5, Mondo, and says Disney World is cheap from May to September. I am looking to take advantage of the discount.
You better be ready for some hot weather, dude.
Hot, nasty weather.
Nasty weather. Do we have like
Especially August and September. Oof.
August weather in Orlando?
That's the height of the hurricane season, and it's gross.
What does this say? What do we got? 92. What are these graphs? Oh, damn. Look at that, Daddy. So, in August, it's a highs of 92 and 8 inches of rain. Like, it's raining always, and it's 90. that don't sound like fun to me, dude. Johnny, if you go, just be prepared, man. It is like what tip can you give somebody, Danny? Like they're trying to go in August or September. What tip can you give? like one of your good friends is going, and you're like, you're crazy, but let me at least tell you this.
Don't even bother to pack a jacket. You don't need it. Because you'll be wearing shorts and a t-shirt at like 12 midnight, so it doesn't really matter. Don't bother to bring one. Just bring a poncho. That's the only jacket you'll need. That doesn't matter. Then just drink excessive amounts of water, even if you don't even think you need water. Just keep drinking it, because you'll find yourself dehydrated really fast, because when you're sweating that much all the time, you don't realize how much water you're losing. So, and then portable fans are your friend during that time too.
Yeah. He's saying, I think May or June. Just don't even pack a sweater, dude. Like, honestly, like, as weird as that sounds, just
May is good. I've been in May. I like May. It can be a toss up. It can be like pretty mild, or it can be really hot. It just kind of depends. And also May's during the Flower and Garden Festival, which for me is my favorite festival at Epcot. So,
Mm. So it says May is like 3 inches of rain, 3.8, 88. So yeah, it's still hot. You just don't want to go July, August, September, dude. Like it's brutality, brutality. Uh, the you said the Festival of the Arts,
In May, it's the Flower and Garden Festival.
Flower and Garden. Okay, okay. I don't know
Yeah.
if I've done Flower and Garden. I think I've done Festival of the Arts. I don't know if I've done Flower and Garden.
You did Festival of Holidays with me, and then you did Flower and Garden uh, with yourself. And then
Does
I
Flower and
think,
Garden start in April?
yeah,
Okay, I did do it. I did do it.
yeah. And then you did Festival of Holidays again, but when you went with yourself.
I like Festival of Holidays. Festival of Holidays is just good. Um, let me see real quick. Is there anything else to talk about, Danny? Or just let's open up to Q&A. Oh my gosh, no. One more. One more. One more. One more. So an article was written. I never heard of Urbanize LA, but they're legit. Uh, Hilton Universal City Hotel. It's not Universal, okay? This is kind of down the hill, like a little bit down the hill. Hilton Universal City Hotel expansion approved. A 15-story, 395 guest room. And also too, there's like a big, man, I wish I put it in the comments or something. But there's like like a big like cancellation that could happen because it involves the union and pay for hotel workers. Uh, like their union pretty much what I found out. The people would get paid way more than the people that are getting paid inside the theme park from like a hospitality aspect, and it's like a conflicting thing between unions, and who knows how that gets resolved. And supposedly, like if I'm not mistaken, L.A. County or just L.A. They're actually trying to bump up those pays, and like the hotels are kind of not on. They're not on board with that stuff. I don't know the exact details of all that because like all this is new to me. This just got announced, but from a hotel perspective, what are your thoughts on something like this being a possibility? You know, nothing is approved. That they're not trying to start construction yet. It's just this being a possibility is approved. Is what I'm trying to say.
I didn't even know there was room for that over there when you look at it.
Because you stayed there before, right? You know
No,
the guy.
I only stay at the Sheridan.
Oh, you're at the Sheridan. Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah, the Hilton one I've never stayed at. That one's at the other end. They do share a bus though. The bus goes between the two hotels. So I've been to the Hilton because the bus from the Sheridan goes to the Hilton first.
You can see the Sheridan
Um,
right there on the like.
yeah. So I haven't stayed at the Hilton, but I know people like it. I just didn't know there was room for another tower, but it would make sense. The only thing that's making me kind of, they're trying to get this all completed by the Olympics, but the thing that's crazy is that like we have rumors of new hotels coming to Universal that are owned by Universal. We have the Hilton wanting to expand their location. Maybe the Sheridan wants to do something there. We don't know. And it's just like, why are they trying to expand all this um, capacity at the hotels around Universal? Is there something they know about that we don't know about, right? Because
Yeah,
like it kind
yeah.
of seems like the hotels that are there are enough to accommodate the demand for what they have, but like maybe not if Universal expanded its capacity. So that's kind of like, to me, the bigger picture here is just like, why are all these hotels trying to come and what do we not know yet?
Yeah, because like a topic of conversation is never. Honestly, I never hear it. Man, Danny, the Hilton and the Sheridan are packed. Where am I going to stay? I never hear that. I never hear anybody say that. Or a topic of like demand being so high at the hotels. It's just not. It's nowhere. Who says any of that? Nobody. Uh, but what do these hotels know that we don't know? You know what I mean? It's the truth. That's
Yeah.
the question. Do they know of some expansion, some big ass expansion that's coming that we don't know
Yeah.
about? Because I want to know. I want to know what the expansion is.
Yeah. You know
Enough
what's
to
crazy about those?
warrant this big ass hotel.
You know what's crazy is I was watching a YouTube video, and I'll send it to you too,
Yeah.
so you can watch it later. But someone did a really good breakdown about the Olympics. So the LA hosted the Olympics in like 84, 85. I forgot which year. And it went on record books as the only Olympics that made a profit. Like, because it's very historically known, right, that like whenever the Olympics go to a city, they lose tons of money, but like the reality is the cities want them to bring all the tourism there, but like the city ends up spending more money and they lose money as a whole. It's like taxpayers and everything. But
Eh,
like in the 80s, LA's Olympics was the only profitable Olympics, and so they already have a whole plan in place for the Olympics in 2028, and it's to do the same thing to make it profitable. And the plan is crazy because we have so much infrastructure already that they can use that other countries didn't have, that's why they end up building like housing for all the Olympics in the Olympic Village, and then they end up building coliseums and stadiums that don't get used anymore. And so like they already did that recently, right? They built SoFi is supposed to be the main swimming like stadium, and then the new Intuit Dome will be like where the gymnastics are, and the LA Coliseum that'll get used again for like the running events. And
Rose
so like
Bowl. Rose
the
Bowl's
Rose
coming.
Bowl, yeah, Rose Bowl will get used too. So like they have all these things that are already there. The Olympic Village will be UCLA and USC, and all the athletes will stay on campus, and the students won't be there. So it's just like crazy the plan that they have in place. Like we don't have to build anything. And I think Universal knows that if we're talking about UCLA and USC being the Olympic Village, and we're talking about the Intuit Dome and SoFi Stadium being like the major heart of like some of the competitions, like the Universal Studios needs to have everything done by that point because everyone will be like within very close distance of everything. So it's very imperative to them that all this is completed. And so I think that's why we're seeing so much movement too in City Walk, because I feel like the whole landscape of Universal is going to change dramatically in the next 3 years. And we're just here for the ride.
Wow. I didn't know there was a topic of like Olympics being a profitable thing for their location and not being profitable. I didn't know that was a thing. I was
I
looking
didn't
up
know either.
articles. You're right
I
about
knew that
that.
Olympics weren't. I knew Olympics were always like historically like a curse for a city, right? Because like they would go to the city, and then that city would build all this stuff and spend millions and billions of dollars, and then they would not use it afterward, and then it would just go basically, and they would lose all this money. But like the LA Olympics were profitable in the 80s, and so the plan, they have all these city planners and stuff that are here to plan that these Olympics will also be the second profitable Olympics for LA.
Yeah.
um because like the Utah Olympics, when we had the Winter Olympics there, we lost money. Tokyo, when they had the Olympics, they lost money. Like every city historically has lost money. But like, so they're trying to make this Olympics profitable. So we'll see.
Damn, that's a crazy conversation. I didn't know we were gonna be talking about that. Oh man! All right, I want to open up to Q&A. If you have any questions, comments, some type of subject that you want us to talk about, we would love to talk about it. Let's just open up to Q&A, everybody. Any construction updates on Fast and Furious? I was just there. I was just there yesterday. I don't know. You know, these things change on a freaking hour basis. It's insane how much change. I can provide a big update for Fast and Furious. These support beams went up, which is going to be like a sound wall. So all the screaming and the noise that's going to be created in this section of the Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift, it's meant to block it all out so these screams don't go into the golf course and the housing communities. But the rumor is, and the speculation, that these walls might have theming to them. We'll see. It's very early. I hope they do instead of just being walls. But that's the big update. And just to say, there was a little bit more track that has been added to. Uh, Things are just getting exciting. Fast and Furious. Even today, in the rain, Danny, they had a whole crew out there literally working to I don't know, beyond 5 p.m., but they had people still working in the rain. Whatever contract they got with this construction company, it's insane. And they never stop. They literally never stop. Let me see. From what I've read, the Hilton has been trying to do this expansion since the early 2000s, and LA City Council just approved it. They finally got it done. Think the fact that it's happening while Universal Studios is potentially in a coincidence, but it could also mean, I don't know, something I don't know. Ralph with $5. Super chat. I was given complimentary lightning lanes when a ride broke down, but the list of attractions I could use it on was extremely limited. Is this something new? Damn.
No, it's not. It's not new, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's just not a concept that we're familiar with at Disneyland too often because we don't have we've never had tiered fast passes like Disney World had. They're so used to that concept because they used to have Fast Pass Plus, and ours were kind of all the same. But yeah, they don't classify. I think the biggest for me, really situation is with Big Thunder, which tends to break down a lot, right? If you get stuck on Big Thunder, you get a readmit pass on Big Thunder. They don't classify any other roller coaster in the category other than Matterhorn. So if you get a readmit for Big Thunder Mountain, you can only do It's a Small World, Buzz Lightyear, Matterhorn, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, and the Astro Orbiter or something like that. It was ridiculous. That's the choices that you got, but they don't classify it the same as Space Mountain and Indiana Jones and all that stuff.
Rise
They're
of
on a
the
different
Resistance.
category. Yeah, so it's if you get caught on one of those, then your pass is a higher quality and you can go on more things. But yeah, I know Big Thunder is a big one. I was shocked that one wasn't included on I remember
Big
we got
Thunder's in
stuck
the
on Big
same
Thunder.
boat as Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah, I was surprised that it was in that tier. I was like, what?
Damn. You're I'm trying to be on the Indiana Jones. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want that tier. Space Mountain. Those have lightning lanes. But yeah, they do value those breakdown. When a ride breaks down, those lightning lanes are not all the same. That happened to me too. I know what you mean. I ended up just using it for Star Tours when I had one. I was like, I guess it is what it is. Question. What are your opinions on the upcoming horror movies like Heart Eyes and Companion? Are you guys watching it? What is Companion? Companion? I don't know what Companion is. I'm gonna go on. I have no hype because I don't know what these are.
I do want to go see Presence. That's a horror movie that just came out, or is coming out, and I want to see that one too because that's the first of its kind of movie where it's a movie. It's a movie kind of a haunting, Mondo, like The Conjuring or something like that.
Yeah.
But the camera is the perspective of the ghost.
Yeah.
And so you're
Coco
seeing the
saw it.
reactions. Who saw it?
Coco, what did you think of Presence?
Presence.
What did you think of Presence?
Good story, but poor execution.
Good story, but poor execution. That's what she says. But I
Okay.
heard what you're saying, Danny, that it's the POV of the monster or whatever it is.
Yeah, so you're seeing like the reactions of the people because you're the monster.
I like that idea. That's cool.
Yeah.
Um, I honestly, I'm looking for Five Nights at Freddy. I'm looking for what else is the big horror movies? I don't know. I don't know what the heck I'm looking forward
We're
to.
gonna have another Final Destination movie.
Yeah, there's another one. There's another one. Uh,
I mean, Megan was probably one of the dumbest movies I've ever seen, but I'll watch Megan 2.0 for sure, just to like.
oh,
I
28
I love
years
a good.
later.
Oh yeah, 20 years later. Are you gonna since we saw that preview, Mondo? Are you gonna see Monkey, the Stephen King one?
We should just go see it, Danny. It's probably gonna be stupid, but I'll go see it.
The monkey, dude.
uh,
The Stephen King Pet Cemetery. I remember seeing that in theaters. That like scarred me. That was like the creepiest movie I've ever seen in my life.
Pet Cemetery is crazy. I hope Heart Eyes is cool. Very cool mask and all that. You know, it's almost like he kind of supplants his image with his eyes. Like, oh, it's okay. But I don't know. Wolfman kind of threw me off the. I don't know about this year in horror. Good old Wolfman, terrible movie. We got Albert. If I had only 4 hours at rope drop at Disneyland, what would be the best game plan to do as many rides as possible? Priorities would be Tiana's Haunted Indiana Jones. If you rope drop, I think you have to go to you have to go left. You know what I mean? I'd probably start off with Indiana Jones because you could guarantee it's working. At least you hope it is. You could literally knock out Indy, Haunted, Tiana's, and if you truly care to do a lot of rides, I would literally go Star Tours, Buzz, Space Mountain, Nemo, Matterhorn. Like you could knock all that out easily. And then I would just finish off the 4th hour with Rise of the Resistance and all that. What would be your game plan, Danny? You're trying to do as many rides as possible.
Yeah, I would definitely do the same. I would start with Indiana Jones because the same reasoning, right? You know it's open because the park's just opening. So unless it has a delayed opening, it's going to be operational and open. And the realities are Indiana Jones will break on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So getting on it as a first thing is like usually a really good option. And then, you can get on Haunted Mansion right afterward, like Mondo said, then make your way over to Tiana's. Typically, a lot of people aren't trying to do like the water type rides in the morning. So
And
that's a good option too. And you can get on that one. Um, I would probably skip trying to do Rise of the Resistance in the morning unless that's like your number one priority. Just skip Star Wars Land altogether and
yeah,
then go to, like Mondo was saying, either go from those attractions to like something like Space Mountain, or do a hard diversion to like Toontown and try to get on Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway and Roger Rabbit. Because Roger Rabbit can get like 50, 60 minutes, and that's not a fun line to wait in at all.
easily 1 hour Roger Rabbit.
Yeah.
It is what it is. That ride's always packed. That's a good idea too. It's like you got to pick your battle where you knock out all the left stuff and then follow your heart. Follow your heart. We got Big Rags. What house would you guys like to see most at HHN this year? I know we've answered that before, but has your want changed or still the same?
I really, really want Five Nights at Freddy's, but I heard someone in the comments say that like it's never going to happen because some like the creator of the story doesn't want it. So that's sad, because it would have been made a really fun um, concept for a maze. It would have been such a fun concept, but sad that we won't get it. I definitely don't want a Megan maze, so I really hope they don't lean hard into Megan. I know this is her year that her movie's coming out, but like I mean, if they want to put Megan in the Terror Tram again, that's fine. But like, I don't want a Megan Maze really. But I would say my number one want that we haven't got is probably like some of the really cool original concepts from Orlando. So like the Yeti or
You wanted that Yeti, dude.
yeah, or Graveyard Games. Like bring those over here and let John Murdy's team have a swing at those and kind of bring those to life in their own version. But if you're gonna have Yeti, you got to do it right. You got to have the air conditioning blasting the whole time in that maze.
Yeah, not let it be 100 degrees and it's like
Yeah, don't let it be
room.
Don't let it be Ghostbusters Frozen Throne where I'm walking through 105 degrees inside.
For me, number one's Terrifier, but I would hope they would start with Terrifier 2. I don't really care for Terrifier 1. Terrifier 2. If not that one, I think Goosebumps would be sick, where you're just going through different books.
That would be sick too.
R.L. Stein, Goosebumps.
Isn't that like Warner Brothers though, or is that NBC?
I don't know, man. I just make it happen, Horror Nights. Just make it happen, man. You guys are powerful. You guys can make these moves. Will Universal ever bring E.T. the ride back? What do you think, Daddy?
No. No, I think the one in Florida is on its final days too. So, like, if you really, really want it, you're gonna have to make the trip over there to try to ride it.
Yeah, it's never coming back to Hollywood, and at the same time, it's such an old IP. Like, do they care to do that? I would have to say no. Universal, I feel they're just in a different direction. I don't know if they're really going for nostalgia. We got Money Mike. With how fast they're going, what date do you speculate Fast and Furious will open? Late 2025? Early 2026?
Mondo's talked about this. He's talked about how Universal loves to open things like months early. So I think we could see a late 2025 for previews.
Yeah. I'll give you right here. Universal loves to do the movie thing. The next Fast and Furious movie, Fast and Furious 11, is scheduled for release June 2026. So I guess they're filming now. Damn, didn't realize that. So I'm going to go with June 2026. That's when Fast and Furious. I'm not saying there won't be testing and all that stuff. That could probably happen earlier than that.
Yeah, like staying on topic with Universal Studios, Mondo, we got a question from Palm Tree 150. It says, what about FanFest? We were supposed to hear about that. My speculation is this week or next.
I hope FanFest. Dude, I've been talking to a lot of people about FanFest. FanFest, it's like we know what IPs are coming, but like the implementation of what's going to happen, we don't know nothing. So it's like everything's vague. Yes, we got Harry Potter and Super Nintendo and Back to the Future, Star Trek, all that stuff, the anime stuff. But it's like, how are things being implemented? Like, what can I get excited for? We don't have that. We don't have that yet. And at least from what I've seen, there's nothing that I could point at Universal and be like, dude, they're building this thing. I think that's for FanFest. Like, there's nothing, at least as of right now. That could change in February, but I would assume it's soon. I hope it's in the next 2 weeks soon. I hope. I want the news just as much as everybody. I'm most likely going to buy the first day and the last day. And if it's a really great event, I might buy a day in between. But I want to go the first day and the last day. Let me see. Where are we? Do you also by Palm Tree? Do you think we see anything related to Snow White since the live action version is coming out soon or soonish? I don't even know when it comes out. I think Disney wants no part of this movie at the theme park. That's my opinion. What about you, Danny?
I think the marketing budget's already there, so they're gonna have a meet and greet for her. Um, I don't know where it'll be. Maybe they'll just take away the Little Mermaid live action version meet and greet that's there in Small World Mall and just put her there as well too. They certainly won't put her at the Wishing Well, I would guess, because that's where the current Snow White meets right now. So if anything, they'll do her over there in the Small World area, which is kind of like their place to do like current things.
Yeah. My heart would say yes. All the live action stuff has hit the parks. We got the live action Little Mermaid not that long ago. Um, yeah, but I don't know. This one's a little different. I don't think they want any part of that stuff at the park. Let me see. We got where are we? I'm reading. Did you see the new magnet for pass holder themed to FanFest? Did you see it, Danny?
No. Mm. I didn't even know. Does Universal Hollywood do pass holder magnets?
Yes.
I know they do in Orlando.
No, right here. Look at that. It comes out February 1st, right around the corner. I don't know why it's themed to FanFest. That kind of throws me off, but it is. February 1st, pass members can get their magnet at the studio store. So head on over February 1st to March 20th. If you're going to build a time machine into a magnet, why not do it with some style? That's pretty cool. You know what that lets me to believe? February 1st, you hear something from FanFest. Why would they drop a magnet and not drop FanFest news? That would be an odd choice. But yeah, you're a pass holder. Go get your Back to the Future magnet. I got so many magnets. Look, I got this magnet. This is probably my favorite. I don't think it'll come out because it's green. But the King Kong magnet, I literally have too many magnets. I love the pass holder magnets. All right. Let me keep going. Do you think Disneyland Resort will be empty on Super Bowl Sunday? Everybody always asks that question. The answer is it's gonna be busy. And you know what it is? It's busy with a bunch of guys like this. Everybody watching the same game. I've been there on Super Bowl. It's packed and everybody in line watching the game. Uh-huh. Disney, if they were smart, they would put that game over there in that green area in front of Din Tai Fung. Put the game up over there, dude. People, I would love to go watch it at Downtown Disney. That'd be awesome. Let me see. I'm just reading. What's up, Rick? Steven Rodriguez, 33 months. Which would you choose? Not Scary Farm or Universal Horror Nights? I've never been to Universal Horror Nights. That's a tough question because we don't know anything right now at Horror Nights. I could tell you what's coming to Scary Farm because they always have returning things. For me, my heart would say easily Horror Nights. For me, that's just me. What about you, Dan?
I would say it depends. If you're planning on spending the money to do the front of the line, I would say Horror Nights as well. But if you don't have the money to do that and you're just going to be buying the ticket, I would say Knott's because you'll get more money bang for your buck at the Knott's Berry Farm event than you would at Universal. Because if you're going on a regular day without front of the line at Universal, you're probably going to do maybe 3 or 4 mazes. That's it.
You're going to get rocked.
Yeah.
And especially if like a Terrifier, Last of Us, all those things are coming to Horror Nights packed. It's just packed. Stupid packed. My heart would say Horror Nights. But that is kind of true. The whole front of the line aspect, it kind of comes into play, especially you're going on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Very long lines. Friday, Saturday, Sunday at Scary Farm, kind of has long lines, but things kind of die out. And honestly, Danny, I never heard, oh, this is 2 hours today at Scary Farm. I feel like nothing ever hit 2 hours at Scary Farm, right?
No, everything was pretty well distributed. The longest I saw was like 45, 50 minutes, or even an hour, for like widows. And even then it didn't really last an hour.
Yeah, it Knott's gets through their lines really, really well. I think it's because their mazes are so long. Their mazes are like 6 to 9 minute walkthroughs. Horror Nights, they really are like in the 3 minute range, 3-4 minute. So it's like double the time you're in the mazes. But man, all right, Danny. Closing thoughts on everything, my friend. Closing thoughts on everything.
Yeah, like it was a crazy week this week. Just all the stuff that happened. We had, the Wonderful World of Sweets opened, then bam, the Storyland Boutique opened, and then we had that announcement from Disney about the hotels. So there's a lot more construction we have on the horizon model that we didn't know about. Um, not only with the continuation of the transformation of downtown Disney with Earl of Sandwich being built, finally, we're gonna have La Brea Bakery finally get torn out soon. They haven't even started tearing out Tortilla Joe's, so there's a lot to cover, and talk about, and we'll talk probably more about that tomorrow too. And I just wanted to make sure everyone knew and was aware. We're doing a X Spaces, I think was what Mondo said.
Yeah, X Spaces.
Tomorrow. Yeah, X Spaces. It's basically like this, but only on X, with Scott Gustin, myself, and Mondo, and we're gonna be talking about just Disney stuff, Disney news, and things like that. So we might get a little bit more in depth. So make sure that you're following Mondo on Twitter, or X, formerly known as Twitter, as the Cali Bay. He'll be hosting it there, and you can join in. It's audio only, right? When you do
audio
Spaces?
Audio only.
Yeah, audio only.
You could do video, but we're just gonna do audio only.
Yeah, audio only. So you can join there if you wanted to do that. Make sure you're following along so you can continue the discussion tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow, 7 p.m. California time. We're going to be on X Spaces with Scott Gustin. My gosh, it's going to be fire. If there was anybody